The sound has always been my guide. And and mechanics of your instrument, which means mechanics of yourself. So mechanics of your own body are what can propel you through any kind of a musical situation.
I had many different influences growing up, many different styles. To be as versatile as possible, especially as a musician these days. Um, Not only is it interesting for me to wear different hats and play different styles of music, but it's also it's fun.
That's the whole point of this, is that we're conditioning our our minds, our ears, what we're hearing, what we're thinking, what we're ultimately feeling, to put all this into the instrument, and that in turn is a vehicle for you to express who you are.
To have a good sound, the sound and the vibe and the texture of what you do is some of the important elements of playing music, not just drums, but playing music. If you got a good sound, and if you have a good sound and you have a good rhythm, mostly everything you play is going to sound good.
So that is a major pentatonic. What is the formula you can write down? One, two, three, skip, five, step six, and that's it.
Before we were talking about developing a routine, and whether it's 15 minutes a day where you begin to set a routine of things that we do consistently every day.
Oral awareness and in your brain, the first you'll be able to hear and begin to think about how these notes relate in the scale. Three, seven.
Without knowing how to apply that stuff in a musical context, it can be very confusing and overwhelming.
You practice your rudiments, your paradiddles and double paradiddles and rhythm cues and all that stuff. You practice that with a metronome. Do you have a metronome?
One, two, three. Can't look at your metronome. One, two, three, four.
That was the last thing that I felt like I was strong enough doing.
We're always dealing with two things: analysis and then like pure from the heart, and it's both important. What's the thing we're really going for? Analysis, and then you don't have to think about it.
When we're having conversations, we don't sit around and analyze, you know. Hey, how are you? How is your noun? So I don't want you to think for the rest of your life. I'm gonna be like, walking around going 3, 7, 8, 5, 2, 9. The goal is to just be aware of this stuff, and you can use it as a practice device. But when you go to improvise, you just play. You react with sound, just like when you talk with your friends in your circle.
So these are the kind of things you do when you walk into the studio with some friends. You're like, you're unpacking your. Say, can you play the track for me? So one of the quickest ways to learn material is to learn the form.
Boom, bugaku, stu, back, do, percussion.
And that's what you got to run that. You got to run that F major. And that's how I would spend hours. And then I can talk about it for the next 10 years. It won't make any difference unless you do it.
And houses have foundations, they have basements. And the basement is the base. And so that is the most important tone of which the rest are all built on. So it's how they relate to that bottom.
Always play music, not notes. And the whole thing about musicians is not just, okay, you play the saxophone, you play the trumpet, whatever you play. It's you have a life. You have an interesting life. And that's what music can bring you. It can bring you a richer life.
And rhythm meaning feel. So sound and feel. So whenever you play, even if you're practicing, make it sound good and make it feel good.
Express what you feel you want to express. Find your own musical path and really just believe in it.
That's it.